machine okay over twin me Wahambu Misha coming to you live from the heart of the city Niji asa for Jato Street Leebi Ŋulami Niji uji chemo sake unye ukweto boni kwekenta mgbeji ni tetela te dromo efi wono mwene wasa oba hisento mbonu oba somo onye kejeju kagbe so ha mwene sho ni masho na masho ko wa boli kutu wakwe machine Leebi Ŋulami ni fe mo no mwene wa fe politics kenkle oba ngo shida kianu ncho akian ji akwechero le money bo wonte shikon gbelika wala reho kamishe ncho no benagbe okay kaji wo jeshipe yemo wo yin nu ka wagbina ye to enjoy le ngama ko yan wo che ni ji ni gonti ajo ni atupa e on body manyeke o ye won chi fe o wa ngo shida pleke han team academy heartbeat homeopathic clinic Helios Care Center ke agbina base vet case job aji meni da mo se nu okay Leebi Ŋulami ni fe mo ba yegbe no e dromo fe wo no keji owo he no pe sa ka ngo shida pleke han ncho no he won if you believe prayer ministry be draw Ken Malem Sani. When I want Kokenje, Proverbs 16:3. Proverbs 16:3. Okay, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Nakai, Saka Nuncho if you will blame energy, ten of Aquasada Keda, Konihani, Waninamo, to wash your fair Abamle how. Will be Akbamle, Kejibu, Nabi, Wanyani, Ukanini Nyanshimo, Afi, Uno, more Wanokwana Shama, Facebook, Nidio Mashi TV, Nakano stream live on YouTube, Mashi TV, Accra. Leebi Ŋulami, Uji Cherry Moblins, and on your quay. Namoko ya Hanche Niji, Mr. Jones Nikwi, aka Cloud Sounds, Tabora Niam, Recook my friend Bafata Wari, David Clotte, Alfred, Apostle Kambi, Teshibi, Lame, Mekrokume, Botiana Naka Wikueda. Nakai. When you buy a chinya bank or Facebook, Niji, Umashi TV, call like no share, get free fair. Leebi Ŋulami, Niji, Oula, Michael Kojo Ameyao, a political activist. Wakajo no activist in pet Barcelona ke e baby e shimwe damo se ni kweno ni yano. Bejano to policies ke ni bi krokume. Ni amlalui ke show kwano ha luma ke beno ha man bi ke ha wa mo ke show mo. No jino ni be pie ame to mo se na me susu hi. Na me kwa ke aso e ya le poten luma ke ya lo jugban ke krokume no gbe no ti ni wo ba yue heji nu gbo ni ehwehwe ke na gbe ba je pa ko ejinshi eche ni kaje ehwehwe pe la ke ni bi krokume jino ni na gba so to jino ni ke ba ko ji hela efiteni ke krokume Ghana Medical Association bi etuwe mo pleke an wo che John Dramani Mahama ke kwe koni gbeno na ba choni abasa ne ke flag ne na anya kwe ya ke ike hila ikrokume ba ni wale papa na mo ehia ona kanu ken ya hie wo shika gbeja no to ke krokume anake na gba ebami be ko ne wa susu ake bone ya le hin mo ake aba na ba kwe ni abajaje ni biye boni wa na le ne ine ke krokume jino ni wo ba gba isani wo ke jibo hu o fata wo he chi obenke wo Facebook shikome ko ni jo Mashi TV na kanu stream live le on YouTube le on Mashi TV Accra. Iche ko yomi abu good morning.
Bongo good morning.
Akweche.
Wole wanye mi nuchi mo no wacho.
Nakai. Ni yake no fe no yo juba.
Ncho do ma wanye mi.
Wanda Mashi. Be gbene gbene keju ba isen okay oba ko wosusu mansanji an. No ni sa ke woni wona mi ngla mo ke shishunu mo. Fe fata eko no somo ma wakaji Leebi no ba shewo de nshia ne okay bi ne le wo hie le fon shikomi ko e ba ken. Nakai ke oba ya wo hie ncho yin wi wanyo fata wo Facebook ke oba ya wo hie benicho ake washika bejano tuluma ke washika sani asusu ake ya lo jugba na gba mbahi lo na gba bahi be ko ni wache John Dramani Mahama ke NDC ku ameba ake ya mbakwe kuni neke resetting lo make abakwe ni bi ku manage ajekwe ajaje lo jugba no keji wo kwe wo sectors of economy, whether when it comes to health, school education, ibale no fe no mlie abakwe na jaji ko ni no ni jiju ke fon le hu akwe ni agbono ke ba hin aje wo satin e gbon shin mo ke wa nu asusu ake atun ake irregularities community no be ko ni 2021 2022 2023 ke ba gbe 2024 2025 no ni ba efema ewo ba bi ake aso bone ya le abanaba ba woni bi ayi lo abagbele woni bi amu no one in kenche ula niji kojo ameyaji political activist e ya sham e ba ko e ko ni ncho fo ba ko ni wo pan e keni anshi ifi wo no ngene ni fi mo e ba fi kuku e nche kaji wo ba ko agenda ni NDC lo make wo che John Dramani Mahama ke wo che ke ba e ko ji resetting e ko ji le ho ake akwe ni bena am misuse o shika ke kuku me a chiche ni biano wo ko wa yo si Independence Day na kem a chongbe kono asusu ake bona ya le ejinuku ni e nagba no agbono je nu pe kani bi kuku me shike wa no ake 2025 niji irregularities ni te no double up to 5.26 Mr. Megbe kono mo ko ba bia ke aso amebaka ba ni bia yi lo abagbele ni bia mo
Bongo oyo ado ani dani maji shishi ani ngenga ha watu ibolo ike wapolo fin lebi ni ina nekensa ne ye woma da feature awuji ami nke TV no ke ni bi e anu kwale tumo be no bi osan ye mi bi ya ke kele la ke shin wo ke ekule government ni ehuwe ne kegbeji anoto na mekeba ni mambi fe na ke se ye ebu awo wo ke chongbe ko no wo ke wonjie ameyejeme di wo ke wo manyehe lo alo government konkro ni wo he wo ya ke se ekegbeji anoto papa baba ni keji eba wo man shika kramo no fi ano ayemu ko ni minkebo wo shini wota efemle ko ni wona ko ni wo ke he ni wo ke tun onu tumo shin agbene to be no yu e fi atoma ke shin no ni wo ke ehin mu we agbene no ni wo na bia na ele fi kra bongo in ya session da na keji matabi en ko ba ka yen ke boda ageshin ke fi wo pa sloganeering politics se fi mo na agbene sanji ni eyan kasa ni wo kwe ni ba wa man bi e wo fi mo ni sa ni wo ke tun ni bongo nge ko bona kanoko
yo da
ni ke bo wa keshin neke ora na eni wo yu one keje sisije mi besa ne yehi eji no koni e kashi fa aka sana mini afi koni Ghana bia na akelele keji afon oshiki ke ha manye yen lo ke e fatalo ye ameba ma abu ke ma shika kramo shi aba shika fitemo shi benoni acho ni akeywe ora lehi ke ywe mojini acho kete ke ba ni ke bwa ke bongo na kan ywe moji ke famo ni aywe kometu we ha ni na kan su alo no potena ta na ke ora la afie mini eyemu nke bu na kan ywe mo e woni na ne ken figure ne ngaga yo efemi na pe eja ke blofo ba yu ake shidia so many ways to either kill a cat or kill a cat bini bu ba yu ile bongo eyemi ake wo manye yo ba ga ke o afofuo ni ne no ke ha government appointees I can see Independence Day celebration, I feel a jubilee house, I feel a gas, feel a gas, feel a kakuna keshkaba. Shibongo. There are a lot of ways to obana keshin where politicians knew were your man namely. Allo political appointees say there are diverse ways done by na metro na mekeye ma ablo. Bongo. The interview and you and you money down. You are converting that 5.266 billion Ghana cedis into dollars. You are doing almost a dollar equivalent, almost about 460, if I'm not mistaken. $1 million. Bongo ni na kan. The keji water man namely, within a year, we are making such losses as a country. Ni water shida, ni wababa ta TV no, ni wababa yu ake o, ene hi fe ne, be oba na ake shibeni em, no ko ni wonye ka ni won fe, ni woke yima blo. Bongo, ke ha akeshi watu ebolo ke wakola ba nu sane ni wo yu o shishi jugba minta ni wo bote wo jiami ni wo gbala ni bi ko ma mi ni wo kwa akeshi neke 5.26 billion na ke it is due to financial irregularities mini financial irregularities poten na ta ona achon di bongo wonu shishi akeshi keji akeshi kaji ne elaje wo ba kwa akeshi kole political appointees or politicians or whoever is in charge or custodians of our national pay say they will always find a loophole to get money. The bongo in that case Ghana and Woyo ne. Keji what they was say wakwa o makola the nuchumo jina chuo well like there are a lot of companies in this country that are due to pay taxes. But at the end of the day, when na be no na chona ka hiyo na kan taxes say po ya medi. Abaka ke say about create relationship go maka ke kule bongo nuchumo no chuo limi. Nuchumo ni tax agencies no mache no kokogbe ni All this one no chwe ko let's aka no pay tax 10 cedi. Shini ke boyo na kan o pay more 2 cedi. No ba ha me 3 cedi. Don't dey show buy no ko. Ene me fe fata ina ke wona na ke figure na e wo bongo bu emi ta oni wo bote wo jiami ni wo kwa no ko ye bi ni keji aka akeshi financial irregularities say keji okwa wo jiami joba aka almost about 4.6 billion out of that kind 5.26 were from tax irregularities ni bongo keji wo ke wo ngba na ke tax irregularities mo wa aka mini and I pay tax pay keji a pay tax le beje political appointees allow government ni it goes beyond a pay tax pay. A typical example in Hamwe me ta no kan na blofo mi no keji wo bana no ke baga make tax irregularities are errors, violations, omissions, deliberate actions that causes government to lose tax revenue or prevent taxes from being properly assessed, collected or accounted for. E wo ja ke se ko le man bi e penny sumo na ba pay tax allow me pay taxes e si yegbe ko no me hu ne ha me na ka hegbe ke wala ke amya he na kan skagin ke ba wa bo man no ya na ka me no chongbe ko no ni sika na sani tax le ten government na allow man bi ana na ke tu no ya no tu mo e mo ni bongo ko ba kwa mi e. First of all, the failure to collect taxes is one of the reasons for part of the financial irregularities. Ake mena ha na ka hebaka me ahe na ka shikaji yen ameya he. Wo bongo ba bi akeshi be ma ba he wo mo na ke na ka he wale ha na ke me aka me ya tuni. Wale ya bi akeshi Ghana levy even our state owned agencies aka akeshi ba anu tumo 10 ka akpa 12 alo akpa 2. Tu akeshi be abona sana ye nu tumo na ke tuni ke ma no ya afi mini. Atunle na kan eko fatahi ni a account to neke 5.26 billion keji ajeme bongo mo wa bia ke mi neko under assessment of taxes keji aka under assessment of taxes keji a charge bo bongo to be example a charge bo 10 Ghana cedis aka shinaji tax no ba pay ka agbe ne in no ba pay 5 ke 5 e nation ke get femini o ke tun ayi konklo alo wole ye no ba he na kan shika ye e wo government ha bo quota aka shi bo bongo 10 cedis na sa no pay sini lebo alone ke mi ye deal wo ma ba he 5 cedis na kan 5 cedis e nation ke mi akpe ye tun se no femini e ha wo je ma anyo mo no bo bongo wa kwele ko okun wa ke no ko na chole tax evasion, the illegal avoidance of paying taxes. Well, the companies New York, namely, bongo babi akeshi, what are the metrics? Ni wa ke track wa akeshi mene be shaka sana me pay government what is due them. There are a lot of entities in this country. Ni they are avoiding paying of taxes. Bongo ole na kai. A typical example. What am name during I think 2023-2024 me ni waka ke ECG in femini e bonyomo. Ni no wo a charge amake sikedi ameya hey nyomojini yo ma me ya femini government tell me ha me ni budget allocation me male. Wo bana nutu money ECG tun ma namely. Ame draw me ame pagane fake Ghana na fe ya big companies ni bongo eba. News agencies ya me say no na nyomojini menko menye ye ma name bongo me male. Ni wana pakashi even these some big hotels, big companies were actually doing illegal connection in their companies. Bongo, as I know tashi, no set to the level of Nomobo Agboneke, and I'm talking to you about millions of Ghana cedis. Now, hey, I pay ECGA. Now, I pay illegal connection. It will mean Biakashi, as I need for more asset lagba. Now, I can say, Kule Abonyomo, then I can show, come and tell about trading like Kenya, nya hey. Taxes bonisa be mini in your budget allocation as a nation akai bongo na keni no ya no in our tax regime nichi money you are they are operating and making millions of dollars in revenue, but at the end of the day a tax pay more if na gba na mo ya na ya make sure akeshi na ke me na mecho ni nichi mo na mecho once na me ka me feel annually lele once na me fee ni government 50 pesos allo 20 pesos na ke ba hale lele wo ba hiru wo ke wo ma photo mi o fe watashi na kan ni won kwe ko ba tax even no ke blofo agbo bongo nu sane shojuba agbene waya no ni actually tax avoidance through abuse bongo keji okwe wona ke wa mangana even our constitution wala nti wo you akishin oh there are a lot of loopholes and their amendments after constitutional review and still no tax ne nako na na mimale the same way when it comes to our tax thing tax regime, there are loopholes in it. And Bongo, actually, when it comes to big companies or big businesses say they know they have the money to employ good lawyers, minimally. They will always look into the loopholes in our tax regime and always try to avoid paying taxes. Over on because because there are loopholes in the how do you call it, our tax regime, that is what they are using to that's what they are abusing to escape paying the taxes that is due the country. But the question is, who is trying to keep them in check? If there are loopholes in our tax regime, no one in tax neighbor bracket that be interest. What chakile neke, no filming in neke. Fast forward, let's go to our ports and harbors. In Kebo Watabie, Mokoke goods badge and Seni Baba. Walake import duty that's an about like 10 million Ghana cedis. In Yanyoni, alone Yamini, alone party member, alone a party financier, alone Boli, 10 million and take the government, the Gemini government take a few, ball payment sis, no quota two coca winning accounts come ye be a hammy. Bongo, no genonic and no money and fair bar. A worker you want track this financial irregularities, say most of them is attributed to tax irregularities. Say, politicians say, allo, political appointees say, they are very much aware of it. And most of these people are benefiting from this. Because Bongo, in your course, government allocation, no back you. Si heading tag, Benanina, in Legononi Macho, Nico Hacho Eco. And if the Auditor General is giving us such report, there is a cost for worry. Bongo Mimali, if we are losing over $400 million just to tax irregularities alone in this country, just get to know what other agencies or what other places say losses that we are making there. No fight against corruption. Bongo, corruption is sorry. What? How do you call it? Effrontery, or should I say, what rights do we have as even a political party to say, we are going to hold the opposition party accountable for what we believe they did? Bongo, Mokonita say back, Joe, what na gbe no ba won fe no ni fe na kan ba gbe na mo ko ni gbe kan yo ni no fi oni mbara lo yo fe ni na ke show politics is a way of changing situations here ke ta say na kwa woji ami awon alo ebu no ni ya ma no da ya ke da bi. Politics said you don't get the power to make a positive change, but rather to enrich yourself or to dupe the nation. Nakani, that's constantly what we keep telling our young people that are coming and are trying to venture into politics.
Okay. No to boni o chineke loopholes ne ata. Ka woke won kwen wo jaji lojuba. Lo fe lojuba ne ye mu. Many poten wo ba hia ni woke sa ne ke no na. Aso political will allo make ina bushin kokwe neke loopholes ne no chon many gbeno poten obani woke mo neke na agba ina na
bongo na money kwe akeshin keji a hate taxes say allo ake a hate taxes say no ni sa aka here ahe we don't need new policies danin ko wo nokeni na akeshin keji e bamla fe money akenkwe woni bi ni ba ya no man na we don't need it. Combine ba ke wa keshi establish the public procurement office account or whatever. Do we need it? No. If we have the office of public procurement authority, they cannot work because of that. We have to establish a value for money office. It is just a bureaucratic system that seeks to enrich other people. It is not needed. Bongo, how can we come out of this? These people, the first and foremost, is the political will to do the work. Bongo, because Kahabo Benakeshi or Chuni look like a pots and harbors. No, like I say, Nekesh Kabonasana, hey, government there. What is your business trying to siphon the funds somewhere else? Bongo, Onushishi. Kaji Oyama, he drum Mopaka Dabi. She can't hear in like a Jemo Kokutokumia. She's cannot hear like Akeko Yama school ya beer. Akeko Bama hospital ya beer. Akeko bag fast hour bedding ya beer. Beasani Mamma make sure in salary. Allo allowance na ke ha me e san here. Sika fe sika ni sa ke e ya man de asane fe mini e ya man de na ke tuno ni sa. Bongo, agbele ke e ba wo man big be fan wole employers komeni yo Ghana ne. I no go na tell PAYE pay. Akeshi pay touch everything. Mata o mini na get tron akeshi nusu no otu ekule ma ka den no mata pay about 3,000 cedis. O employer allo rutu no ka ke ba che 200 cedis na ke pay tax. But your companies, hello employers, PM and name. After deducting those taxes, say they don't pay it to the government. basane bi mo oje akeshi na mo ni make sure akene ke institution ni e che taxes ye employees ano e pay ken ha government e bongo moko kwe wo ba ma hu ni afi bi aba femini aba shwemli e we kule ke mo fe mistake ko pay ni government yen banake wasma abule ncho pay taxes ba kwa ke mo ya court alo aba yen le nwenwe na make sure ke kule over the period of 10 years or 15 years say o pay ko income tax for onuchulo ya hu yo kule afu nyomo ke 1 or 10 million England won expect na ka mo ya ko na kan shikaye bongo onu ni enshi na kan shika lela ke shi meni akame what in la ke shi I am like bi ni ko akeshi keji o che income tax kencho onu chula aya sa no femi o pay e was ani eja ke shi meni ke na kan mla ba mena ha na kan hegba ka me kwa ke na kan mla ke chuni e mini ji amenu chumo bongo we don't need any new law or any new policy in our tax regime. The thing is it is about the effective implementation of our tax laws. That is it. And the political will from political appointees to make sure it is not to enrich yourself, but rather to work in the interest of the public. Because in your market, tax, import business and pay 10 million, pay more 6, no can 4 actions say, I pay more 5, no man 2, 3 and FA man no more. Bongo, Keji of Fen work one tuni and my name in the king. Do we believe that this country can get to the threshold or to the point where everybody will be economically free? No. But what about us in a canoe of how you bluff work, Wake and neighbor, or I quote big figures. I'm going to mamita fanchini connected lube of where lebe a nelenakai. But a bluff when church on my here, oh no, Nushishan Kolanaka, call Nushishan Bomin, Mommy Nakai, Kabluff no like a laka. This is not what we need in this country. Bongo, what can you be make a minute bena ba chono? Be jakeshi imlaye. The political will is what is lacking. And the credibility of political appointees or government appointees to make sure that they stick to the rule of law is what is missing. So if we are able to get politicians who put the country first, and we get politicians who have the political will to implement our laws, we will not have all these losses that we have in our financial sector.
Okay, Ojuba. Wabu kisanyemi ni wakwe emiyagugu ekome. Kaji wakwe heni poteni neke nuchumone tino yalo neke kusuna achunye. Beni chwanke MDAs niji ministries, departments and other agencies. Jemeji heni neke find this na alo neke research ne alo nuchumone temo. Ewo ba se shra no wakwe no kubeku nehu. Mr. Mel, come on what they say few previous administration. In some makake whether first term or 1 year, that be she kept when your mama attribute to the previous administration. Come on, where need ministries, departments, agencies near under previous administration. If you are 23 to 30 core ministries, department and agencies. Yeah. You come on, where new administration name. No, Kabaniji 23 ministries. You mini poten ato mini one
bongo equal working is not about the number. Ni se ko in hebo the critical example ye be ake. One of the worst decisions that was taken by this administration, ni permit me to digress a bit, is to close down the Ministry of Sanitation. Bongo onu shishina nke hebo ne keke no. Mine woni yo na ka kuma wa majami biane. What combining Ministry of Chieftaincy, local government, the local government is taking care of sanitation, and the KG Okwa budget allocation annually. If this ministry alone is taking care of these 3 branches, how well are they going to make sure every sector is going to get what is due them? Nakasanya no bio. Bongo, JAKC or close down some of the agencies or the institutions, or merging some of them is what is going to make it effective. The moment you do that, it's like you are sacking other people and giving their jobs to one person and enabling and enriching one person. That's what we are seeing. Because if none will care if far ni able man or more, they didn't make such a loss. None will care more is smaller that will preserve the public per se is making such losses. That should tell you that it is not about the number of the institutions, but rather the political will to make sure that regardless whether they are huge or small, they will be effective. Bongo, in care about the case and in that case, fine. The government then was bloated. At least we cut it down some. But beyond the losses that we are making from MDA, it was not about the government size. Bongo ni kebutabi name. One day, Akeshini are closed down some ministries here. Some of them were given appointments under the office of the president. Is it not the same thing? Taking the salaries as deputy ministers and even some ministers, true or false? What is the essence? Bongo mi mali. Because called the Ministry of Local Government Chieftaincy here, there's a department there that takes care of sanitation, right or wrong. Abana Director King, what is his duty? It's not the same duty as the Minister of Sanitation. But because we wanted to score the political points, I can show there was a scandal from the Ministry of Sanitation or from the former Minister of Sanitation. They were as anyone need just to have a goodwill with the people. So I can know about you. Allow what mishandle shika. It will work close like an institution. We are going to work in the interest of the people. And closing down such institutions, rather you limit the number, but rather the costs that we are incurring is much greater than having a large number of institutions. What kind of country is this? Whatever most of these politicians do in this country is just to score political points and nothing else. And it's evident. Because if you are quoted like we are 28 now, it's 23 or less. What is the essence of it? Is it not better to have the large number and believe that okay, even the bureaucracy here is still there? Even in call less losses, because at least that's what our politicians have taught us. We should always settle for less. We should be mediocres. We should always be happy about the little that they give us. We should always compare bad to worse. I can't be 2 billion. Number 5.26 and over 2 billion people more than 50. She's an Ebiaka as a no bonumolo. No, can compare bad to worse. I or not 2 billion, 5.26. It will more than 50. That is what our politicians are teaching us. Celebrate mediocrity. Settle for less. Oh, the government did this. And that is the problem that we are having in this country. Oh, we collapsed. We've reduced the bloated government agency from 28 to 23 or 20. Oh, everybody is clapping. But when you go into the books, you go into the books, 5.26 billion in 2025 alone.
Okay.
That had a numbers reason to. Okay. What is the essence of cutting down on the government agencies if we are still incurring losses greater than what it used to be?
Okay. No, in Chamel, kaji neken no ne fenti no ni asusua ke na ke babale. Looking through your lens, ni ukwe the key ni NDC damono. Ni ke bamlalum ni ji resetting agenda. Aso neke resetting ne. Obanya waka ke yegbeko no. They are moving by their words.
Bongo, one of the biggest things that we love to do in this country is sloganeering politics. And if you do political marketing, you get to know it's one of the tenets of politics. You have to have slogans that resonate with the people, something that is very catchy, something that the people can resonate with and remember very quickly. Better Ghana agenda, Ghana beyond aid, resetting Ghana. And all these things are sloganeering politics. But the question that we need to ask ourselves is, where did we start from to get to the point of resetting? Okay, if we started with Better Ghana, did we get to the Better Ghana agenda that we're looking at? No. Oh, if we were saying Ghana beyond aid, did we get to the Ghana beyond aid? No. Now we said we are resetting. What foundation are we standing on to do the resetting? Because there should always be a foundation on which you stand to do something. But because on a sloganeering politics saying more now, and we'll get some few big brains to sit around the table to give us a catchy phrase, and we throw it out there for the people to resonate with and jump on it. That is what we always do. Bongo, as we sit today, we have been talking about creating employment for over the masses of Ghanaians that are sitting at home, and we said 24-hour economy. Wasn't it one of the most flagship promises of this government? As it stands, do we have it? No. Sloganeering politics is what is killing us. Instead of us having a national development agenda that we all stick to and follow to the latter, we are resetting Ghana. If we are resetting the country and then our financial irregularities is rising to 5.26 billion, what are we resetting? Are we resetting to go backwards or we are resetting to move forward? We don't have any foundation to do any resetting in this country, and that is what is worrying us. If we can move away, this kind of sloganeering politics, Better Ghana agenda, okay, Better Ghana. What was the tenet of the Better Ghana? Meaning the Better Ghana seek to achieve. Oh, it should be okay. I want Ghana to be a better country. What China can that be? She need Better Ghana in like a name anonymous. You want to get Ghana beyond aid. Okay. Mihumba, nigga Ghana Better Ghana ba, Eba Chano, Snake, Ghana beyond aid, Bahama Wojami, Mini no Mia Mentana Mefi. Or I'm a fake shebi. If I tell half a minute or channel, the Ghana will move beyond aid. Of all those Dabi or small Ghana beyond aid because what like you know about is a crime scene. I remember low shikaji and thing. What was small Ghana beyond aid there resetting Ghana because what like I said, no more make a woman like I hear. Agbene men na ke won town wo mo make wo mi mu e wona ko mo make wo mi si wo mo nu wo ke wo ma no ba fe reset ni wo mo ko mu ko hu e wo agbene wo ande wo shika sande ni e ya ojugba anyanwe fi no wo ke wo ba ni na. Now who is actually creating the crime scene? Bongo, that's a question that we need to ask ourselves. My answer to you is we should move above political sloganeering.
Okay. We should move above sloganeering. Yeah, what delivery me? Ohan one we share ke obe foundation. Foundation na le kulo juba. Ni ekoji okan tonoko uchi ni 24-hour economy policy ne no podi enche chon ana ye legbe kono ana modi mi chon ana
yeah ana kono
here. No many jini bi ekome no ba suggest keji owe mom ne oke wo be foundation. Many jini bi ekome heni bodumo ke no na ke boni bi yale.
Bongo, we have a National Development Planning Commission, right? The question is, what is our development plan for the next 5, 10 to maybe 15 years? Do we have something? That's why when you are in trouble, from the 3 administrations that we've had, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama 1.0, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo 2 terms, 8 years straight. Now, His Excellency JDM 2.0. I'm a fan, better Ghana beyond aid, resetting Ghana. Moko chako moko noko no. A typical example will tell you, no ni ho no onyo water ma name ni. They work 16 years, ma 500 bed capacity. This should tell you what we lack as a country. It takes us 16 years to build a 500 bed capacity. The Afari Military Hospital, maybe a decision. Was it not 2008? A contract was awarded in 2008. It's essentially Jomani Baba Ajishin Agbeina. 8 years later, Afi Agbeina. Biane almost 2 years into his SSC JDM's administration. Agbeina Dabi. But rather, we are going back and forth. No mona here contractor. Meneke 8 million. Meneke Dabi $500,000. On our problem anyway, your country here. Bongo. Until we all sit down and move beyond the winner takes all politics. Our 1992 constitution has served us well. But this constitutional review, you know what decision? Keje Kufuor, you know, Keje the late President Mills, you know, Keje John Dramani Mahama, you know, Keba Tachole Ten, Nanado, you know, Keba John Dramani, you know, the first year, need a review, needs to date. We haven't had any tangible review. It's what is causing delay in our infrastructural development as a country. Because Bongo, Mofia Maketa say, na beni ake 1992 constitution mfeni bi ko menake da bi na sana chake. Kele ba ye pere na ke wo mo ye mi. Esumo ne ba femi ni. E ba chake. Bongo na wona agba. Wasane no ojikuku. We should sit together, move beyond party lines, and have a national discourse on where we want this country to be in the next 8, 12, 16, or even 20 years. And make sure, it becomes solid part of our constitution, gazetted and entrenched, enshrined in our constitution. Mo fair boniji no baba government. This is where the nation is heading. Obama carried by America. Want to buy a council. Because they know healthcare is for the people, regardless whether it was from Democrats or Republicans. We need to foster it. She wore Dabi. Ni wo ba one channel to be now no free SHS name but we get agency with progressively free. Does it matter? The question is the Ghanaian child getting a good education or quality education? That is all we should think about. Money is progressively allow money can buy free food, whatever. Doesn't really matter like that. At the end of the day, it is not your money. Even if you go and borrow to sponsor the free SHS, we the taxpayers are the same people going to pay that debt. True of us.
True.
Bongo. Until we sit down, clear the party lines, and have a national discourse and a national development plan. Or about touching the Kenya, or about TV, or buy you NPP, NDC. Jiba actually the same thing. Ghana is not developed. I'm telling you. If you move beyond Accra, you get to know that Ghana is not really developing as we should. 69 years of independence, and we are still sitting in this mess. We can't complete a 500-bed hospital within 3 years mark we give ourselves. But it rather takes us 16 years, and still it's not even open for public use. But we sit here and we are killing our own citizens with no bed syndrome. Posterity will judge all of us.
Okay. No, as an activist, Mama Sumage, many now no York, the parties, she, as an activist, know you say, as now, you know, this should be the line. Apart from national development plan, any Uchinka, can you be crooked? As now, you can get two parties there.
Bongo, the biggest advice you can give to any political party is just to advise them to have a good political will for the people. Because without any political will, nothing can be done. Bongo, political will is as such that it will cost $1 million. It will like $2 million. $2 million like easy the problem that we have in this particular constituency or this particular community. Okay, she can't now $1 million a means. Me no get $1 million if you in pocket $1 million. At least get by $1 million in Bongo. It is political will and good hearts of the people that will make you know okay, the people first. No keshika fen ba tru ni tru no ke ha man bi e fen adwo ame. Wona be ni tru mo yo. Shi efe to mo da na e won dwen wo he. And we've had politicians say to us like their party first. Mongo do shi their party first. And I always say okay, sometimes it's very pathetic because as if okay, when you are part of a political party, you don't have any conscience of your own. The party it takes for you and the party tells you what to do. So you don't even have the people at heart. All you need to do is just to be a good orator, go and stand in public, speak good English that the people can resonate with, and then you get the votes of the people. The biggest advice that I can give to any politician there is to have a good heart for the people. Bongo, keji ojenoma here, no joma be here. Or no fellow no ba here, you put the people first. Because one way or the other, Bongo, keji cause MPG in like in lobby about my hospital in your constituency. Keji je no kokra imma mi ko yeje me inni ko na ko nya mi no ko elo nya mi yo ko yeje keji he basan ye ngbe ba ya hospital le shukun hospital e be de ko no ko ni na le imma kele ba cho de bele mi no ni yo e wo no ni wo na ake she kule won fe ma bi e dromo won fe wo den che wo he dromo. So the good heart of for the people is the most important thing, and second thing the political will. This political will goes beyond the individuals. It goes for every political party. I can know when you come into office, it's not about enriching your party, but it's about making sure I can the social contract you have with the people. Let me be a kake one for you have okay about fin account. You want for shiki fan about fiambo. It will catch a koshiki and I can go na hamwata. Kabata TV or low about radio no by you for agbo no no shishi. Because keji eshe oshiki be pen one like politicians am no Ghana men no trip. Chikeji afon shiki atape am fa mecho mo cheme bongo won pa fai amena twiju ke ha man biye agbeneka ke na ka hegbe ha me hu amena na ka political role na me ke twunu ke ha man biye ni Ghana aya no ne ke MPP NDC ne e ke wo share yuko o ba ta be 70 years time 80 years time o ba fe MPP NDC while other countries are advancing beyond.
Okay. No, inchame ke wo ba ya no ni wo ke mu ne ke sane gba ne na wo ba ko wo yin gbe wo ya ke won kwa kenje 2021 no ni ba 1.8 billion 2022 1.41 2023 2.4 2024 2.06 ni wo ba share 2025 5.26 billion ne ka o kwe aso na ke ne ke irregularities ne akatui papa hia se ni je kule to moto eglamo abotem ya na ke no ne te no ke 2021 to ba gbe amotone to eglamo ko alo mi chon ache mo ko da mo shin abiye sane ni ejemu to bo no chon
bongo ke 2021 na mo na wole mo iwo keje okwa ke 2021 e ya sha lo e ba anwe
ke 2021
e ya shin alo e ba anwe
e ya anwe
iwo bi na ita na ke ebu so fast they happen in 2021 now Africa no go here no go be na by na fe here don over no insurance because can call one city na fe mi no go in call two city na fe mi no go like e be a normal thing Ona the jele mi ekeji ofin no fe no ehe obana ke manga ko esako no fe kweko na ke ofin na beni bola nche edo oboke ha agbene ko fe hu no bale it becomes a normal thing to you, and that is what our politicians or politics has become. Financial irregularity has become a norm in our political system. Oh, of course, no na ba you no ya ke si auditor general baba you ke you at no na ba you na ke o public accounts committee abacho menyo alo me ten ka ba you block for agba ke ji ati mi na ekun na afio ye bongo ke auditor general ba you alo ba you ake si o ne kenyo mo na abo ne keke ne ken bongo ke je no say launch a full scale investigation into this. From 2021 I get full scale investigation, 2022 full scale, 2023 full scale. It was full scale agriculture now. In 2025 no pay how of 5.26 billion. Abata TV no abablo. Ababia ke ngeska afencho. To be no about you or hene. Aba obata bie, oba 2027, ake 2026 no baba fata yawo. No for babo ngeska acho. Si ke no se onu he no kudo. Bongo. To egla mo ko beke ha mani fi oneke ni me. Sikelele album ko mon ojogba. Oba na kisi ye. Monitor say ba ko ojogba. Mongo you know the funny thing you are be on political appointees e bia na come by office na hika. Hello ahika ham alo ameke state funds ya hegolole abade to car registration name magula ka Land Cruiser 2026 e hambo shabara is 2023 e why na ba oje mene lole ni the previous administration in the UC they fit to no feminine ame banana. Why are we doing this to ourselves as a country? E wo obo e ko ke financial regulation mo ko eje shike ka he lole back in 2025 28 time I started 2023 te feton ba na akesi na kenskana ka hina kanoli ona bongo. This is the harm we are doing to ourselves as a nation. We know the perpetrators of this kind of acts, but because we are all in the same circle, we can't give ourselves out. We are not about you know jakesi na kenyo mo ni wobo the auditor general ke ba you a ho egbena mi na yo fi mo ye he ko ke wo fe wo fi mi ni wo hin ya pa no be eta when me din ba na hise na me na hise mo African club haba rabo na kan yo mo ekun wo ba tati no ba you do for ala ko fi mi ni wo move on wo na kan wo hear me. The politics of mediocrity is what we are constantly served with. We can have traffic light here be I am a 6-unit classroom block here I expecting man be a fair family actually me sika gbagbo na ba na ke fi no ko poten ke ha ma le e ba ya me ko ma kotokumi.
No Mr. Mayor, if in case I look in here assume na ke head should roll koko ni imagine shikeje
mongo nto ni nko bo e wole me ni tuo na kan tuo kenke wole me tuo ke our party people or the party executives know those perpetrators of those acts. What that be ni honorable Sam George ke wa kesin there. I think the director at National Communications Authority wanted to contest something in the his party. They were per the party's rules right now. If you want to contest as a director, CEO, whatever, Sanofi will not resign. When I was Sam George city, if I'm not mistaken, they got director Ajay Lekeje position. Alo resigning. She is acting as a director with no salary. Now be like appeal a law. Appeal like no in chonshin afemini in goodwill to the nation. And we know I can't like I'm going to resign. No, come on support as a supporting director. Bolo me and Mark resign, but yet the person is still at post Nicola appealing. Bongo, only you was in a kind. A war on me time on like I say, Nuchumon will fail or throwing my name. My young yellow will be a fairly non yarn or your mammy. Bona, you work out bar, they will only use one person as a scapegoat. Monica will Omiyechi na kind. Bonecula by now mobile, Bonecula by now shrivel. Kona ke save ago then when I can ashwe mo come no allo ajemo come no man ke commentator say fame but if no when no wo man yen no body let's no corruption o na me fe no ashwe bongo she nuchu mo me ni ntuni o gba me fe mini am e wo sen na me ntuni she bo no yen chi no be he wale ko e bo na ba je bo je na use as a scapegoat. Mini one na ko mini one no ko your man. We sat here and we were seeing the kind of financial for economic frustration that we're experiencing as a country under the former regime. You were feeling okay, the finance minister must go. Did he go? Pona Jele, Jamie office and Hale, special advisor to the president on finance. One of the politics that we play here. Bongo, it's not about heads rolling. Heads rolling, and they will just use someone as a scapegoat and use someone to replace them. Bono Miechi, Bonabahis was a scapegoat there. But Bongo, it goes back to the political will. The heart we have for the nation. That is the only thing I can say. But not like I say, show me like Wabaya Wababa no okay. So me no swear MPP, no like NDC, but me no 5.26. It's not the heads ruling. Ni NPP it will be fair negotiation. How many seats did the NPP lose in parliament? But today we are recording the highest number of financial irregularities. So Bongo, it's not really about sacking people or firing people.
Okay.
It's about the political will to make sure that fair work a true
no, but fair cat the abadi and cheba the more political will. No, but as we go no mama we ake corruption allo corrupt act lo ma ke neke ni bi fe mo ne e ba fata wo DNA ni enyanshi wala
wo okay DNA pole it's our entirety. I won't sit here and be a hypocrite and say we can eradicate corruption completely. But I believe we can bring it to the lowest minimum. Okay. But I know kept bashing. Cry. No, but at least be no one he. I can now nipi ale at least when say o better like oh be ni be in Chucky. One to be ni ke Chucky government the pay to no fear not Chucky or if you here one like no fear no pepe. Our government takes 6 months 1 year then everything goes back to factory resets. In Leebi Ŋulami, I just wish we can get to a point in our governance where corruption is at the lowest minimum, where people are very afraid to perpetrate such acts.
And do we see such elsewhere, other countries? Because I think China and Geo just this week, I sentenced one of their finance minister.
Yeah.
So, Tombono, you Ebanya Yemu, Kaji Akwena Bono.
Bongo. It goes back to the political will again. Even the UK, if you read the UK Financial Times, you listen to their politics and read about their politics. There's still corruption, but not to the level of such a poor country as Ghana. How we do it, Bongo. Even America, even our political, even Trump are accused of electoral touch of the funds mismanagement and all that. Are accused of how do you call it, rigging elections. Are accused of buying stocks and then recommending the stocks. It's all part of how do you call it, corruption. Fair, yeah. But then there are institutions that make sure that such things are keep how do you call it, make sure it's on the minimal. But if you tomorrow war, one tomorrow normal, government go ban the government go say by yeshika or fair one in Benin plea bargain. Mimali. Inta ko bien go ake shine kena ya na ba wutu me ba gbe na plea bargain. Inke go bongo me no attach me na akesa ya she. It will feel to more even if you follow the political discourse well you can be a political prophet. Because ole ake na ya na ma na ole ne ba gbe na ye. Bongo no shishi na kai. I believe we can do better as a nation. Rwanda is doing it. Is Rwanda not doing it? We can do it as a country. Okay. But because we lack the political will, that's where we are.
Political will agencies ni tackle on na buy na na modern board.
I'm a modern board trying to say the government is not supposed to make such appointments. When it comes to the security agencies, that is one of the major problems that we have in this country. Bongo, no matter who you are, if I appoint you into an office, no matter your integrity, if the president calls you to do something, you can't say you won't do it. Bongo, when it comes to the appointment of the chief of defense staff, the inspector general of police, the Yoko director or whatever, when it comes to BNI, all those people, this thing should be devoid of political appointment. On the Supreme Court, Trump lost the, how do you call it, the ruling against that birthright citizenship. American Jubu. But the Supreme Court overturned that verdict. Sure. He has lost numerous cases in the Supreme Court. Many FBI, Pentagon, CIA. She kept only Trump here, like Trump, resigning. Trump appointed Trump and If he doesn't agree with what the leadership of the country is doing, if I resigning, no more. But if it to the war, the moment there's a change in government, all heads must rule. And the government that's over 7,000 appointments, including CDS, how do you call it, IGP, and directors and all those things. And you must be whipped in line. You must be whipped in line. Even you, as a, how do you call it, Yoko director or whatever, if your interior minister or minister of defense calls you to do something, can you say no? How much more the president? I'm not saying they are being controlled. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving an instance. But Bongo, if we want to go beyond politics and even go beyond political will, certain amendments should be made in our constitution that takes the powers of such appointment from the president. That makes sure actually people are put in positions that they merit and they can do the job without any political will. What happened was Tabi and Kisija was appointed by how do you call it, the previous government. He couldn't do anything. But if you know, could be an apple of Fijin I gave you an attorney general has the power of prosecution. Now, when is the last time you heard about it? Attorney OSP. What happened in here? So why was it? Like a constitution, the power to prosecute is for the attorney general. Didn't we know that at first? Even in our law, say there are loopholes that people can exploit to make it make sense. So far as it's legal.
No, but I can't hear on Cabasi.
I can hear on
Cabasi. That's what I'm saying. I don't can get here while in a photo aging.
Me no, I feel like I have a conclude. Born and here. Nimo like I actually until the government any will like a bad, you know. The government any will like a bad, your name, tuning if you want that be all let look about prosecuted, Jabo noni. It was like about them Lamio Joba, and we had people who supported that cause. Now, Hena can you lady. Be an immediate. He's just there taking salary. What is the essence? So until we take such appointment powers from the president, we'll take one step forward and 2 steps backwards all the time. No she water.
Would you bad it? Leebi Ŋulami okay the chairman minister no nyokwe ma share Facebook na ke we kuma ba history ni wa acknowledge ame ka me amenu chuma pa Napoleon why gagbe ke good morning and me wo herebu no Faith Eduke good morning Bongo and your guests keep the good work up na kan wo ba ya wo here he ni wo share insmo ma VP and ken utine ya ke wona no ni ya no mu no bonsuation e gba wona emi wo e fite woni bi nmewo she kama here GM ni Ghana Medical Association make we mo eba for John Dramani Mahama ni akwena afi insmo mole holistically she must mo wo family e wa mabotem ni wo kwe no ni amewi e ke wo kwa ke aso lelen wo John Dramani Mahama e banye ni edamoshin fintin ni ne keni ne ino agbolu amewi ni amete no ameke poorly maintained drainage system amechiniji rapid urbanization, deforestation, climate change. Waliare climate change no koni here. Kechon woni bi kuma femo. Poor waste disposal practice, encroachment on wetlands and natural water courses, illegal mining activities, political interference, weak enforcement of zoning and building regulations, limited public education, ke agbene infrastructural niji deficiencies. In Chamel, Jemo any GMH tan ekume naturally amerenchame ekutomo climate change in the game. Chika won no kutamo illegal mining activities, political interference, ekume ko ke disposal practice, encroachment on wetlands, ke natural water courses. Aso neke appeal ni GM ke ba han watch John Dramani ma e ba anye ne echumani.
Bongo. Kusane bimo na san will be akishi. Menedi clean no kesani.
Dabi.
Is it the first time the president is becoming president?
No.
In 2050, what happened?
Flat bar.
And what happened? People lost their lives in fire. What did he do? He went there to see. What did he say? Bongo, what did he say? He tried to work. Bongo, meaning we fear tomorrow. We do the same thing all the time and expect a different result. Meaning, meaning, in the Benike, like Ghana be a one inch or suke or bank or Dramoyo. Bongo, the president's name by any second term. Meaning, a deputy chief of staff fee, our helicopter. I can survey flood prone areas in Ghana. True or false?
True.
Now, survey at our minute recommendation. I make a
7-member committee.
Me, I have secure wetlands here back. I have failed demolition. Bongo na fear miniba. Mini ekosi sen na kan just meet on here. Mene ni flood bar. Mini eko ne fe. E can I come on chief of staff no minister for house no whatever at helicopter me eko. Na kwa abatana yi se je blofo na ba ke o. Na gbira ke wa keshin it's our attitude as a nation, and I agree 100%. When I can be one Ghana be a fatai. Whatever the Ghana Medical Association is saying is not far-fetched. Secondly, it's no news. Because if you to asani was you and one anaki one way jemi one you. Bongo, who doesn't know? Okay, we have global climate changes now. Nimabo typical example of countries. But wait, do you know what makes a country resilient? Bongo, it is challenges that makes a country resilient. Nakani hani, I know that much of ba.
Someone boni be kune who UK. I'm a council of visa health workers. Agameya. No ba chot we sake bon sanonyo mamo health facility.
Thank you. Many hani Japan face Japan many. If you want one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world, is it not Japan? What makes Japan resilient? That can be, and when even earthquake happens to a certain magnitude, they can withstand it, and they develop technologies that actually detects earthquakes or even tsunamis before they come. We are sure earthquakes go to China. The same thing. They have tsunamis. They have earthquakes. And I'm a poor it was more devastating because only when China and the moment earthquakes when it happens, it affects them severely. They develop technologies that detects the earthquakes even before what it happens. And then sirens and alarms even go off. They build bunkers, they build railway stations that can actually withstand earthquakes. When I can call siren here, I can go below grounds so that you'll be saved. Do you think if they were not experiencing such problems, they'll be that resilient to put in measures or technologies or agencies that can work to detect such problems? Since 1963, Bongo. J2000. Since 1963, when the rains came to Accra, Daily Graphic. The same thing, 2026, the rains came to Accra, and we are still fighting floods in Accra, Ghana, and even the whole Ghana. And what do we have now? The president has declared Friday and Saturday as a national day of cleaning to mitigate the 7 regions that were affected by the flood. Abaje Gotami,
dumping sites.
Abaje Shia Gotami, Abaje Odomi, Abaje Kole, Bongo, we have the same thing. I want to expect Mokobaje when no miraculous happen. Africans are blessed with the fact that we do not experience natural disasters, and that is why we are very, very complacent. And earthquake we have experienced that once or twice because floods still we are issuing permits for people to build. We are filling wetlands for people to build. Bongo, mini wo fio to mo sebiota flat wo ni le fire my name ne. Mini wo fio to mo abeni le loin in government ne. This thing is not 10 years old. It's not 20 years old. It's not even 30 years old. Since 1963 to date, Bongo calculate mo. What touching you declaring National Sanitation Day. Not even one any minister Ghana Medical Association union one education inadequate sanitation whatever. Bongo. And I'll still go back. And this is a passionate appeal from me to the government. The closure of the Ministry of Sanitation is the worst decision that this government took, in my opinion. And I'll say it everywhere and anywhere. The worst decision that this government could take, I can say, me ebanga the Ministry of Sanitation. Bongo, no attachment, you is an otoba. Mene yako benaje kole mke shwe, but gabe for don. Aje kole mi shake pake bole, kole anything. Ensure nothing. Bongo. As in this country, we do not even have dump sites. We do not even have enough recycle facilities to fight against the kind of plastic waste that we produce. Mene Ghana be new abobo ya bi ase. Na pa me fight, then I be here bola. Your bola na sana here go 5 low 10 report na can chargeable. Because ko hotel no akeya, a low town na shiabu.
To na akeya.
Bongo, no he shin water bi ane. How long are we going to declare national state of cleaning whatever? For how long? Bongo, gota mi na ya je ka ja ta mi na ekun. Me ke say ni wo bi o he ki wo je gota me 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Ni wo ke me aka ya no tumo. Na aje gota mi na ya sha nsho mi gani bi fe ne. Ka sha nsho mi fe sha gota ga sha kole mi ke odo bi fa ta. What is the next step to make sure that flooding does not happen again? Abaya chado. Abaya kumoma chunjiye 6 months again. About Bongo. Our issues are not new. We just don't learn. And the last time in my article on Facebook, the country that never learns. Darn nearby to the point that we lost over 200 Ghanaians to fire in circle. Date. Many still place still flats. And people that didn't even lose their life, that cause some damage today. Can I'm a tashi now my experience na kani ne e ba do ametri kan so suma keshin na kano ko ba ene di o mo dem le be na ma yo e gan e fiti am wala ka tangene water na kan problem e holo mi mane mini mane mene ka ta o politician ko na mole former appointee ko na mole ba ka ya mansene a medical attention we have medical deficiency in this country. We know we have a problem that we need to fix. But because they have the money or they are being politically hunted, they will medical care UK, US. Mini manjiwo. Mini on the Trump care Ghana is a shithole country or African countries are a shithole. They were a show of Fenkemba. Mini on the South Africa, many back work by Jin or Batame man no. Or here Mini on make sure because they know if we got independence before them and help them fight apartheid and help them gain their independence. And to date, we sit here in this kind of mess. Say, of course, they will sack you from their country. Bongo, me and Kata natural, me no look down. Gota what Jamie and wait to. Jamie about the Gota, me 7 regions no Obama. Colleague on be no. What come na what the cabinet say? Ka je Gota no akwa ke na mo baba look je. I rest my case.
Okay. Mashoko wa jot we mu abu mi she wani fata we Facebook na ge BFB ni woke woni femo mba na gbe oba bi ekume ni oba kwa ke asuke akempete here e ba hin lo aloka ke chai e ba hin ko fata we woke oba jot we mu abu mi she Mr. Memo keji won ko ne ke na gba na fe ni woke ekume ko ye me ni ji can call environmental sanitation and proper waste disposal. No wabi ake wo waste system ni wo yo e manem. Keji wo quick from Bekuni hook bashin. So te wo feel le ten ye mu. Alo te mini te judgement mini ji no potene sake woni wo feel as Ghanaian.
Bongo nke go say go no wake if because due to political will and my heart for this country. When I get the chance to become any government appointee or any position, I will always go for the Ministry of Sanitation. Because I'm so much of a perfectionist. You incredible na kensa ni ndake. Ke in touch on me. Keji in yeshia equative in yemami. And I see how messy this country is, how messy even our capital city is. Bongo. It's not something that I'm happy about. Well, I will always wish to be a minister with a difference, not a minister with a good portfolio. Now, like a minister that I want a minister that I will be my hands and my feet to be on the ground doing the work. Bongo, we at this age, we all know how to manage waste in this country. First of all, what denche man people denche, what be serious. We as a country and as a people today, when I work about you, like a what is wrong with our brains? How do we think as a people? In the money behind money back as the Baptist about drunk in Kebola we got a me about the show only bad. In the money care on a kind of more. Need that would maybe can be in the field. Si many or look by fan at that case here could come in or mammy fee. Or mammy before Bongo. Till date, Rwanda has banned the use of plastic in the country. Are they not surviving?
Yeah.
Many go suggest that I ban the use of political appointees can companies in that area will fight it because you're going to fight against their business. True or false? True. Since when Mama 1.0 came banning use of plastic? Because the lobbying and the political whatever and fought against it. I was in full support because Keji Okwewa got us many the choke got. Is it not this pack? Ni indomie pass ke bottle water can politics say na yimi obo. Bongo, it's about time. It's about time that even if we want to continue using the plastic, say we need to have enough recycling facilities across the nation. Bongo. When the bricks me I can was spawn affiliated. Some countries use plastic bricks that are made from plastic and rubber, and they are very effective. Look at our alleys. Look at our Bejinikamo neighborhoods. They are all rough roads. Bongo. We have the will to develop this country. We establish a recycling plant. In every plastic and waste that we produce here, we are going to use it for plastic bricks just to fill our alleys, just to make our walkways look better. This country will look very nice. Bongo, Shimini Womo, Womani Blofonu Abadjoin Ehao. We want to score political points, so we collapse a ministry that should be solely in charge of sanitation. It means the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. I don't really know their work. Bongo. When was the last time you heard that the EPA is doing something about the environment? When you talk about the environment, are we only talking about the forest reserves? Is it only the forest reserves? What are we doing? Come on, only you got me. What kind of more you know in your lower England? Now, no one's in Asha, no more. A favor for, hey, come on, hey, let me goose, a favor for no more. Work for social media now, Monakwe. Bongo. Obata in a canoe, we expect I can make a abaji. Scaji at the all our dumping sites are full. We don't have enough recycle facilities, and even the private owned recycle facilities they are full to capacity, so they can't really operate. Bongo. Mini wo feel to mon wole sanik ba wona and wole na monu ke ba ha. Mini wo feel to mon wole. We actually we don't know our problems.
No, but Mr. Manuko to mo wodi enje wo logo ligi.
No. That is it. Because if you can stand there and look at this and be laughing and making videos and making jokes out of it, you don't know what is wrong with you as a citizen of this country. Because they don't know you. Mini won ye na ewere ma ni aya. Men ye ni mo mi. I can't factory community toffee Joe biscuits. Olaka me a low biscuit take a toffee and no me naka. Bongo, me boy in Kuen, Abaka abandon me who be my. What ain't a man be a mini bar. In many Mokuyan morning, fridge in your got me, a tony, a yasa fridge and got me.
Yashabu getting
Bongo. Bona, Ona, can I feel what I won't quit a few or 4 1 more? Hey, more a good send by any in a come on to 1 penny. The president take helicopter. Can you get him and we quick? Car track. Lala Mobo say, oh, the president take John Mahi. Can you see an interview? Oh, and we are going to do this, and then we are going to use clear the gutter so that Bongo. Keji Mukun cloning the president there. The Makake Kulemon, he experienced Kuda. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. 2015, you experienced the worst form of it, and that should tell you. That's what I'm saying. Okay, the Better Ghana agenda should be a continuation. They resetting Ghana today. Okay. Nikenya Mr. Mayor ko kwek benoni watcho ni work fight or work more disaster na. Are we on trend looking from way back to now? Ake nugonshwishing to onko 2013, 2014, 2015 watch John Dramani Mahama takan nagban dumojen ko ni ba. Second disaster enye no me intro ni Vienna City. We don't need to know if na bonite no. She you know what John Dramani Mahama by we care never again. If I do mongweni have me your instructions like a kumohe kumeke kukume. Ni mene never again government e baiti. Ni mene keji nugbon shweshipo alo no kweba. Ghana National Fire Service be helicopter. Wana ake not mo here helicopter alo ni bi kukume. Benoni watcho ni work more disaster na Mr. Mayor. Kenya here aso we are not kono down. Bongo in have an example like our natural disasters has not pushed us to be resilient enough. Ni have like example like Kumo China, Kumo Japan, Kumo Turkey. Mene ko te jema onna poake neke earthquake ni bani be wodenche wonyaminu Eastern Achune. Ko te ma nyan onna poake.
In 3 years I will call te na ni bi na fear.
Ni ma na ma amko chu ake si one kuma wa sanama. I'm making sure ake infrastructure systems in place na can like earthquake be the effect will not be as devastating as it was. What about someone in one no one yana the canoe ke life jacket. Mungu, what we need in this country to fight against natural disasters is only canoe and life jackets, and that's what all we see. one call vacation, we celebrate mediocrity so much so vacation, it even affects our way of thinking and how we reason to fight against certain things in this country. To me, no be a country like this, if we are challenging and we are having a natural disaster, look, Kenu, Nuwali, and Admu, Kenu and Awole Mata, Ghana Armed Forces, they will bring their boats and whatever to rescue the people. Kaji Agbinaka and mattress for more, care for Keroro. No, I will for that in ye. Bongo, our natural disaster should compel us to be forward thinking, to be very resilient as a country. Actually, no matter what happens, say we'll always fight again. I was talking to a friend in the US. Okay, sometimes when it rains, say ita a hole no eba machine ko suye e underground there. Kedu na ka machine na ka which means no one no mini in our ni water level rising. The water level rising ke share ko ameye machine automatically e gbla no efe ke wo underground drainage ne ya. What to have a flood in there, it's very hard. Oh, nice. Ogana, well, wetland them one is an amount to German. What more about low shackete? What about feeling? What about matching? Can you more near quote more 20? Woman in Mapa, near can you be catch an admu? Can admu kikinu, you cannot look at canoe about Obo. How behind your mattress call more careful because I'm banner sponsors in Baba sponsor. Oh, companies introduce your mattress. Oh, NGOs, whatever about hand mobile donation can harm me. We were touching every year. We replicate the same thing. Speak good English, big grammar, and expect the challenges to disappear out of thin air. Bongo. One man said, "Akeshi, no wise man will put his hand in fire just to know that it burns." We have experienced these challenges over the years, but still, what tashi? You are the fire. You come and be a kakumo. You come and be a kakumo. Kakuma taka tashi. Ko gbona ko se wa ha me pemi te ka me ama. Oh, ko ke bola wo mi aba mobo. Aba mo ko 200 cedis do report money ke bola wo go ta mi. Agbene ya national sanitation day ka je go. Me na Rwanda. Ameke, I'm a national sanitation day. Ke share bongo onna muku ye street no. Asano come on eji akonya tuani ke anabo ake a citizen you are not part of the sanitation no afu many national sanitation dey ke share nutu no ya me ho share na me wo ka 10-11 and na afia mi abia nutu mo na many ba ha tunu na ba je go time ke hwe amenutu mo yeni ekule ame alo waste management ba lo hu e ba show ya hu ke ko yo ke mini nu etike wo go time eku wo mini baona keji akomotu en puden che debris said en che jole oje se mi eke no e atono kokonku shi mr me keji oke alo wonu hia ke natural disaster se no we mugonye isana ni no hunka ba sa ka odomo hia as a country aso what he wo mi ake previous administration am invest when it comes to nekeni bi na eko none of the administrations that we've had so far have really invested in actually tackling natural disasters in this country.
No, keji one minority mi ake am invest 350 million nuku.
Me na kefe.
Ake dredge Udo River.
Bongo me sometimes when I think we want to take over $300 million loan from a grant from whether IMF or World Bank or whatever. Bongo me no kefe. I mean if you know to ka yellow na ka adu Udo River na ka chosh ka ke water me alumini. Mini no, what logic is this? Ake abalo shia ke je gata mi kake shwe shia e gata atwe those dredging that we are talking about. What kind of country is this? Bongo me care wa ke nad money water be no ni nad mo yo pay mattress ke kenu ke life jackets nad mo ake make what equipment do they have? You ask a very reasonable question like till date nad mo not even Ghana South has a helicopter to actually walk around or even go around place to see how issues are. Ni mwanyene ni rescue me Ghanaians ni in video ko fire service no kome domo nuemi ni if you they were trying to rescue some people ni if you shane ye nuemi ni egbe nuemi ni koliko ya wale. Ghanaians were holding phones making a video and laughing at the fire officer. Money ya hele moko wala ni wala ngmele wodumo shi won bongo, but I don't blame them. If we had mechanisms, we had the technical know-how, and we have the equipment to actually do this kind of rescue. So we had more minimum awole egbon kwengbo segment of flat beleni jomo behi. Na ba le gun salute can it be just like that. Bongo. Ike NADVO should tell us the equipment that they have. Even their offices are unrefurbished. Their municipal and district offices, go and see what they have there. Only mattresses, rice, and life jackets. And I'm not even saying it on a lighter note. We see it.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, my that's it. Can Kai Bekuni who need circles and ye. Nibi number Jack, a bullet of the machine, not sickly can it be new
natural disaster management organization. A whole organization.
How about just sickly?
Car back a pickup, kake sickly common, it will say. And that's what you are managing disaster. Me I feel water spillage in touch on the voter region jeng bene na te kenu komo keroro. They will saw politicians who wanted to score political points kake trailer komo ke match son ke tension ya ke ya. Even politicians thrive in the challenges that we face as a country. No go happen na afa donation na. Ni na bane flood na bane. Oh, you said Dr. Bamu ba omi here. Oh, a leader that thinks about the people neke. Obana Minister for Greater Accra Minister, can you come when me? Aqua woman can you know me? Oh, me or Batampa, a drama, when you know me. What kind of me? No, what drama? No, I don't know the politics that we do in this country. We are so much of mediocres that I don't know. Because I feel politics, the politics solve any problem. Now here, then they will take it. This a leader that thinks about the people. When the flooding happens, he went to see the people and he went to donate this and he was waving at the people. And you see, regional minister can hear me. Come on, the police same way in me. The bodyguard money can hear me. Oh, mommy, oh, a minister that thinks about the people. And ask ourselves as Africans, how do we think? Regional minister no ahen no mi ni ba boy hawo money no ewule kete boy hawo alo boy hallo me ni no ewu amekete ya me ni bi keje ni ngomni. What is the essence? So political leaders, I understand, out of goodwill you can go and visit the people and extend a helping hand, but after that what next?
After that what next? Mzama kemna aso MMDC is ni wo yo amotone wona me modembo ka nuchuma.
I will always say bongo sometimes it shouldn't be so much huge of a position to make a difference. Bongo, it shouldn't be so much of a. Come on, I don't know how people see leadership. Leadership is not the position, the fine suit that you wear, whatever. If I have to roll my sleeves, I'll do that. MMDC is whatever we have there. They are just going around speaking big grammar, sitting in air-conditioned offices, driving big cars and going for vacation, nothing else. Maybe Bongo, your DC or MCE, means you need to put a new tron for this return, alone municipal. Book care money. You might care, but only mean DC tron, a family. Mean DC a family. Ete man say, they are joy. Me no tune. But like, and we have challenges till date. Yakwe je touch all the thing palladium beni afe ona neke method is so more ke na kan intersection e be da ne ke from gaba patch ni wonye akwa beni be afe ko o no na baba afe gaba patch ko kan le 3 months ke from ko ka fi mi our patch ko still traffic lights are true ni agene be can be for gbemi da ne ni you ne kan say ne over and over again. Shikaba tashi and bro flag boy. Catch a vote in a Kabaja t-shirts. This is nowhere to be found. MP, you can't even see him. Car interview like a bro flag boy. And then I've sent this letter, and as you can see, I have a letter here and whatever. Bongo. Leadership is not only about the position. I understand sometimes it's overwhelming. The expectations are a lot. But taking it one at a time is very, very important. If you ask me, come around on a scale of 1 to 10. 2% will harm.
Okay.
I don't know about other places. I'm talking about my DC and the ones that I see in Accra. 2% will harm.
Okay.
Kaftan Agbagbe
Yo, it was your 1 million per me. 0274324331. She man among AMC Kumi, Honorable Franklin Cancer, Ablikuma Central, one Nanuchuma Panochum, or Washi Okono. Mr. Melkemuna, what you want to miss on the name? When I came to me and Sake on the 3rd, Nenyebano. yeah, kemo lawyer chaki mo ke kukume achike ba here. From your lenses, many you know in 2 minutes. Okay.
Bongo. You know what's an buyer no? In Kebo do kwake. If you follow political discourse closely, and you are really much vested into the politics that we do in this country, you can be a political prophet. In a Holy Spirit inspiration. If you know, you know. Okay. Now yakeba ora can be me. Plead bargains be baba me. Even before want to me no. What I be any potential you ake attention about you through plea bargaining they have been able to how do you call it ahishkaku me. Jail about you
NSC.
Thank you. Many what touch a few months later I can want to miss an year. Jan to 27th. I feel plea like this was the first time it was a Jan. It was a Jan before because I'm any offense both parties take on I'm a player how do you call it? My name want to me in the lawyers get to go for a plea bargain. Now I joined for the first time. And this is the second time it's been a journey because they said they haven't got into an agreement yet. They want to 27th. It will come, but then the courts will decide whether to accept it or not. Bongo. Interbi any man you know no court, but I'm not going to sit here and prejudge it. But not me really Jackie. All these cases, most of them will end up in a plea bargain. It did. And I said same thing for whom to miss case. It could end up in a plea bargain. And it has ended. Minimally. The question that we need to ask ourselves as a people like this. Kejin Tabi and I care into $1 million. Ni me and you used to $300,000 ke fee no ko. No mommy. Then get working boy fee mapa fire. Man ma but mo $500 $600,000 say. No man here. Ben ye. Alon ye ko. Beni won back and for shame. And what be what is an what's a queer plea bargain is part of our laws, yes. But what be or if you have good lawyers and you have the money, you have the political connections, say like I can blah by your boy. But no you have the money and all these political connections in world, you always end up in a plea bargain, giving part of whatever it is believed that you have taken unlawfully. Like I said, that's all boy. The papa no go ke function. What's a be near me Kasi. The text will be there for them to read. The news articles will be there for them to read. What's is that the part that we want to charter for the next generation coming? That's what I ask myself. Because we are also reading in between the lines. Like if you do this and are able to do this and give this one away, you'll be able to sort yourself out. Posterity will be the judge.
Why don't you 0245164513 0245164513? Okay, when you feel more eba nagbe. Beni hawakpa mo ebe ni ngo. Mr. Mayor, what we what you want to me say? Maybe akeke ukwe the resetting approach ni NDC government ke ba. Won kwa judicial settings aso eye mo wona judgment. Wole ake wo we mlasa ni alo wo we no koni e ba fe contempt. Shi akeni man bi one is actually what observe from behind. No call resetting approach judicial system alu no funny yemu
noni mi manema UA pe jacket the attorney general before ni manema UA dan kemi UA ma UA ke ya oral sani no ake je mo jina UA ke te nwe ke ba fin ni mene if you ake shi je na kana ya that's the only part that is very disappointing. Then I'll continue to admonish Akeshi. Sometimes it's better to act more than you talk. And even if you want to talk, you need to walk the talk. Neka faith mo ba you baba o agbene ke ba fe mo. When was the last time I've been in a general press conference?
They shouldn't feel.
When I've been near Yale. But fear to mo ke attack a government as an what feel no ko na Akeshi feel no ko. She can be by showing me like by what Fiji fair the judicial system in a whole. I believe like sometimes everywhere you go, you not get it 100%. There are still issues that we think as good people of Ghana will keep talking about, and the more we talk about them, and the more we seek redress to them. Nakaini. It was me and my Akeshi kule me nepot alone and keke. So no ma you no Akeshi. No ni wo denche wo like esani wo fe here. Wo mi a wo here wo fe ke wa Ghana no ya. Ke no ko ye no like ene Iwa Ghana no yas in a judicial system. I'm a dench family. I'm a when I'm a tuni Yoruba. Like when to attorney general. In my Jackie. Sometimes there you mo pee. Many swim psyche to me. I got a plea bag. je you mo yi bongo atuni ani ma bia na ko tun ata no wi ye mo fe o ma na no no wi wa fe mi ni o tun ni
okay Mr. Mel, to ma be ni le nke wo ko no ni tino South Africa ni se ni won ko recent development ake am a president to ni he drop down can call BNC commission komeni am afio am ke last time I fear South Africa or this time around about hold the Ghana ni won ko no ni tino ke group aso yegbe ko no ameke ake a cancel ni invitation she a postpone mo no keji won ko no ni tino ke am shramo can come imagine shramo especially Ghana ke South Africa te wo mo me wo ha ten
bongo normal iwe no ja keshin twi bi bo abeku ake say otimi fo otimi wa no yede onro ka wa for abeti nini on my previous submission iwe no kwa keshin keje Ghana na efe na Ghana na kanye shukun South Africa po ba ine ka Ghana bi ahia na ma ke ya ni no ni ya no South Africa obata shuba kwa wa ake is it politically motivated? Of course it's politically motivated mokonye ke nya keshin na me ya me ma yen lo ke ni bi ni yo me leheko. And if you have read a statement that comes from their Ministry of Finance and even some of their political figures in the country, you get to know, okay, these people are politically instigated to do what they are doing. Nibongo, affecting Ghana and South African relations, of course, it will cause a strain on it. It will definitely cause a strain on it. When it comes to diplomacy, it is not a tit for tat affair. Because diplomacy goes beyond what you see the superficial. There's economic diplomacy there. There is how to call it intelligence and security diplomacy. There are certain intelligence maybe Ghana might be sharing with South Africa that the ordinary citizen may not be in the know of, and will not be in a haste to say, oh, Ghana should cancel all relations that it has with South Africa. It will not be in both parties' interest. Economic diplomacy, which both parties say we benefit from ourselves in a certain way. We have visa waivers. Now, when we don't need a visa to enter South Africa, one way or the other, it's affecting their economy, it's affecting our economy. The fact that there are people are fighting against our people to leave their country and even killing our citizens and other neighboring countries, it doesn't mean that automatically you cancel all relations that we have with them. When it comes to diplomacy, you need to tread cautiously. There's soft diplomacy and hard diplomacy. It's the South Africans are even shooting themselves in the foot. And you saw even with the World Cup, even sports, the entire African continent was against them. And are they still in the World Cup? One way or the other, they may see it to be a joke. They think they are trying to preserve it. And whoever is leading the charge in South Africa, if you're you don't be surprised if one day you see those people contesting for any political positions in the country. That's how it plays out. I get what I'm saying. The one who those who normally lead revolutions or whatever, it is always has to be a political motivation or political interest. Whether directly or indirectly, they are doing it either for a party or for their own interest. Let me tell you, in as much as some people may claim to love their country, sometimes there's a little bit of selfishness in there. So to me, should it affect our relationship? It's not like should it. It has already affected Ghana and South African relationships. Because if you are killing our citizens, you are beating our citizens, you are threatening their lives. Of course, we as a country need to protect the interest of our people. Well, the kind of goodwill that Ghanaian government has towards South Africa will dwindle, obviously. But to cancel relations with them entirely is a different approach altogether. Now, let me try to say there's soft diplomacy and hard diplomacy. You don't just get up one day because there's some sort of issue between both countries. Well, you end all ties. It doesn't work like that. There's a series of channels to go through. And if it fails, then you choose hard diplomacy. And that's hard diplomacy. That's what actually results in wars and those kind of things. But we are not going to get to that point. But it's a way to maneuver around a soft diplomacy to get this kind of things sorted. But whoever are perpetrating those acts in South Africa, they have a political interest.
Okay. Ojogba, inche ko wanyo na gbeyu mo ko ni okay class ngene sanigba na ke ife interesting wa de nche. Wo fa no ami una gbeyu.
Mo go yemo no ni ma yu eja ke mi intri ake wo mangana ba yen ni eya enye ni at least wo anu sign ni your ma mi ke mo ku ba ka ke eya school en. Ja ke ba ya school ni ba agbe ne ba batashian. I don't know any sensible country that will sit down for its youths or graduates to form unemployed graduates association. It's a scam to us. We need a reform in our education system, first and foremost. Bongo, KG Wali we can only employ maybe 7,000 health workers here. We should allow our universities to take just those number of people. Worker faith to mobile school fees at Bagwe and train over tens of thousands of health workers, knowing very well that we don't have the capacity to accommodate all of them. And that is what is causing the menace, that is what is threatening our security in this country. Bongo Magbe, now go to sanitation. We need to work in our sanitation issues in this country. The outbreak of cholera, the outbreak of malaria is all because of the sanitation issues that we have. The government should work very hard in establishing again recycling plants all across the country. We need to look beyond just collecting waste and dumping them at sites and all that. Mungo, Ghana has become of age. We don't just collect rubbish and just leave them at a dumping site. We need to be innovative enough. And we are pleading with our politicians. So find MPs, DCs, MMDCs, whatever. We find a benefit, not only you are there for the sake of the people. Onu chumo fio ni oba chue ke no ni moko ba fie no ni ha ni hiyo mu wo ma ya ehia enya ke oba dwen wo he si bebie wo dwen me he woni aha wo na kan be na nke ngamo ba ha wo kolo fe ni ko agmene wo ke wonda me si ameya ni ameko wo na kan agbene minga mission to nation afọ be fe mi den che papa ke mi den che boss kenya ni me fe ni amenkwa ni Leebi na nke ncho ajo mo fian bongo ni da bo shia ke
bon ra no ke go for no che go ba no wa share Facebook no ke na gbewe mo amuna faith eduke good topic and very educative. Thank you my brother for education us on how thank you for educating us on how the government should be developing the country. Ujubadi and Jeffrey do rala don nke Oula Niji Michael Kujame ya political activist Jimon Nasani Bangbe Jini Tetelate. O machine ko ba jo tu mo abomi je. Keti yen nu we don be ko kure wo ke apeo.